day of August, 2024, and it is another staggering news opportunity. We begin today with news out of Kursk, Russia. Forces from the Ukrainian army entered Russia today. Russian sources report that tanks from the armed forces of Ukraine crossed the Russian border and were advancing to Kurilovka and Goncharivka in the Kursk region. Now, I don't know if these tanks are manned by Ukrainians or if they are manned by wackadoo Russians. And I don't know if these individuals operating these tanks are suicidal. Maybe they figure if they enter Russia, they can surrender without their own officers shooting them. I don't know. But I expected Russia to make quick work of them, and I was told, and some video was provided to me, I'm working on verifying it, I was told they made it 5 kilometers before they all got blown to pieces. So Ukraine Armed Forces tanks entered Russia today. It was not a success. In other news, a plot by Ukraine intelligence to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russian Defense Minister Belousov has been foiled. The Russian Foreign Ministry confirms that Ukraine planned to attack Russian President Putin and Defense Minister Belousov. They were preparing the attack for Russian Navy Day in St. Petersburg, which was on July 28th. This news was revealed today by Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov on the Russia 1 TV channel, and it was reported by the Moskovsky Komsomolets newspaper. According to Deputy Foreign Minister Ryabkov, the attack was supposed to take place on July 28th. However, a few days before that, Russian intelligence broke the plot, and Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov personally called U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to convince Ukraine to abandon its plans. You may recall that back around the 28th, 29th, the New York Times reported on a, quote, mysterious call between Secretary of Defense Austin and Russian Defense Minister Belousov. Well, that's what the mysterious call was about. Ukraine planned to try to assassinate Russian President Putin and Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov. Plot was foiled. Well, other news came out today, and this is where things get downright frightening. I received covert intelligence information today from inside the White House Situation Room. Information came to me about the meeting in the Situation Room, which had been briefly attended by Vice President Kamala Harris. And strangely, I believe it was Fox News Channel, reported that the Vice President had been dismissed from the Situation Room after having photos of herself taken for her presidential campaign. But it turned out there was a lot more going on in that room. Reporting to President Biden, Secretary of State Blinken, and other high-ranking U.S. officials, from the civilian leadership as well as the military. U.S. military intelligence informed the cabinet officials about the Israel-Iran situation, and in particular, the coming retaliation by Iran for the murder of Ismail Haniyeh, the diplomatic leader of Hamas, who was assassinated in Tehran last week. The military intelligence informed the group that the following words verbatim, quote, "The war will begin tomorrow. We're ready for the counterstrike on Tehran. Nothing will stop it now," unquote. Well, needless to say, when I had these words come before me, I got sick to my stomach. And let me tell you why I got sick to my stomach. Never before in the Situation Room or anywhere else in the United States government have the words, quote, "The war will begin tomorrow," unquote. They have not been uttered anywhere. There have been phrases like, "We believe Iran will attack in 24 to 48 hours. We have a feeling," or "we think," or "we see that they've assembled equipment, and if they keep this up, they'll probably be able to attack on such and such." Always a window. Never a specific statement. And yet, in the Situation Room this morning in the White House, the words, quote, "The war will begin tomorrow," were spoken. Now, based on the rest of those words, quote, "We're ready for the counterstrike on Tehran. Nothing will stop it now," unquote. As you might guess, this indicates seemingly that Iran will strike Israel tomorrow. There are logistical inconsistencies here, folks. The Middle East is 7 hours ahead of the United States East Coast time zone, what I'm in right now. So, as I speak to you, it is 9:09 p.m. here in northeastern Pennsylvania on August 6th. But at the precise same moment that I'm speaking, it is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It is 4:09 a.m. in Israel on August 7th. They're 7 hours ahead of us. So, when the briefing in the Situation Room said, quote, "The war will start tomorrow," did they mean tomorrow here in the U.S. East Coast, or did they mean tomorrow in Israel and Iran? Because there's a 7-hour difference. And I have not been able to get clarification on this. In fact, people are ferociously furious that I seem to have information that I shouldn't or have. So, it's already tomorrow over Israel and Iran. Now, continuing, as you might guess, when they say we're ready for a counter-strike on Tehran, nothing will stop it now. As you might guess, this indicates that Iran will strike Israel tomorrow. But no word has been given about any start time. So as I mentioned, it's already tomorrow over there. And I really don't know if the guys in the White House giving the briefing meant tomorrow meeting in Washington, D.C., or tomorrow meeting in Israel, Iran. 7-hour time difference. So let me play devil's advocate here for a moment to sort of game out how this could go. And I want to preface my remarks by making it explicitly clear to you what I am about to engage in on the radio is conjecture on my part. I do not have any credible evidence to substantiate what I'm about to say at all. This is conjecture. I'm offering this to my radio audience as a sort of what if for all of you. All right? Again, conjecture. What if Iran commences retaliation against Israel at 6 a.m. in Israel? That would convert to 11 p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States tonight, right? 7-hour time difference. Well, that's certainly early enough, especially as you move from the East Coast to the West Coast, when time zones go lower on the road. But certainly early enough when the sleeper cells are allegedly here in the United States from Iran, whom we've been told for years are already here. That's certainly early enough hour for those sleeper cells to be given a go order when the fighting begins, isn't it? So what if those reports we've heard for years about sleeper cells being here are true, and what if they get a go order tonight to commence their sabotage or I don't know, perhaps outright attacks? What if they commence these operations in the wee hours of the morning while a bunch of us are asleep? The point I'm trying to make to you is, you and me, we could wake up for work tomorrow morning to a country that is under attack from inside itself. We could wake up tomorrow morning and see the electric grid out, communications out. We could hear reports maybe of attacks, perhaps, here in the United States. Now again, folks, this is conjecture, speculation. I have no information whatsoever that anything like this is planned or will happen. I'm simply offering it as a what if. You see, it looks to me like we are all out of time. And by that I mean out of time to prepare an emergency food, water, medicine, a generator to keep the refrigerator running, or fuel for the generator. How about fueling up our cars and trucks, getting a first aid kit, having communications gear like a CB or a ham radio? How about something simple like a flashlight for each room in the house, or for each person in the house? Spare batteries for those flashlights. A portable AM/FM radio for Lowe's with spare batteries for that. We're out of time. And if you don't have those emergency supplies by tonight, you may very well not be able to get any. Because if, God forbid, attacks again here, the American public will panic. Outright panic. Store shelves will be picked clean in an hour. Now, what bothers me about this story in particular was the phrase uttered in the Situation Room, quote, "The war will begin tomorrow." How are they so specifically sure of that? Iran sure as hell didn't tell them. What if they know because Israel is going to carry out a preemptive attack on Iran before Iran can retaliate? Then they know there'd be a war, wouldn't they? I don't like this, folks. This looks bad.
Describe what it's like to lose 3 children. It's like my world was just turned completely upside down overnight. Like one day I was picking out Halloween costumes, And the next day I'm picking out caskets for each of them. It leaves an ache in my heart, an ache that never goes away, and an ache to just want to hug them one more time and to hear that sweet